Can anybody be a house cleaner? It's a great question, and we're going to talk about it today. Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Can anybody clean houses? Yes, anybody can clean houses. When we hire people to be in our cleaning business, we hire them on attitude and we train them for skill. Let me say that again. We hire for attitude and we train for skill. I can take anybody and I can train you how to clean a house. But there are people that come in for job interviews. When I sit in the interview, I ask a series of questions and I let some people go, knowing that I can train them to clean houses. But there are things that make me say, nah, I don't think so. Now, if I look at house cleaners, and there are a lot of house cleaners that I get to deal with every day, and they come to me and they go, I've been in business for 10 years and it's not very successful. I still can't pay my bills. What am I doing wrong? Well, let's talk about what you're doing wrong. Let's ask a series of questions. Let's find out where the gaping holes are, right? There's one house cleaner, for example, and she assumes in the back of her mind that her customers communicate the same way she does. And she's very to herself. So she just assumes that they know the price, that they know what the price covers, that they know how they're supposed to pay, and the amount that they're supposed to pay, and when they're supposed to pay. And her assumptions very rarely match reality. And then she gets really frustrated and irate with the customers. And then she's like, oh, we're not a good fit for each other. And then she leaves and she goes and finds a new customer and assumes that they know better. Okay, it would be super easy just to communicate those particular items to the customer so that they can play on the same page. I have never met customers yet that can read my mind, right? That never happened. It would be awesome if they did, but it never happened. You have to say the words and you have to explain what your price is. You have to explain how the price works. Now, I know another house cleaner, not the same one, but a different house cleaner that accepts cash only. I don't know why, but she accepts cash only. So if the customer doesn't have enough cash on hand, they either have to drop what they're doing and run down to the bank and go get cash. And hopefully now with COVID and banks closing, hopefully they can get cash at a bank. I know that my bank is like miles away and you have to have an appointment to get in, right? So the challenge is the customer doesn't always have the right amount of cash, but because it's cash, it can't be traced. So they say, well, I owe you 20 bucks. So the next week she comes back and they say, oh no, I paid you last time. And she goes, no, you owed me 20 bucks for last time. And they're like, no, I think I paid it all. I remember because I went to the bank and I had to get some money. So it's their word against her word. And this goes on and on and on. Why? In an era where everyone pays by credit card and you can track a credit card and you can hook it up to an encrypted program, why on earth would you take cash? It just creates all these weird things. There's another one, a different house cleaner altogether, and she accepts checks. And that's awesome, checks, right? Because it leaves a paper trail. But the problem is there isn't always a check waiting for her. And so she's gone literally 3, 4, 5 times a day to the customer's office to try to pick up the check that was owed her. And when she gets there, the customer is in a meeting, or they're not there, or they've stepped out to lunch, or a series of other things, right? So because there are rules and regulations that are not in place, they're not successful. There are other house cleaners that have a really bad enabled attitude. And their attitude is, I can get by doing whatever I want to do because I'm the boss, right? And so they've enabled themselves to think that the rules don't apply to themselves, right? I'm different, I'm special. Well, the customers don't think that. They think, well, you're running a business, you should have business hours. You should show up when you say you're going to show up. You should send invoices at the proper time, right? They have expectations because they think they're dealing with a business. And so all the time there are house cleaners that do things that are not cohesive with a successful business. And then the business is not successful. And then they're like, whoa, what's so different about what I'm doing? Well, what you're doing is probably okay. It's probably just 1 or 2 areas that need tweaking. So can anyone be a house cleaner? Yes, anyone can, but not everyone can run a business. And so if you decide you're going to get involved in the house cleaning business, I want you to really think through every single thing you do. Are my relationships with other people in check? Do I know how to deal with difficult customers? Because I promise you this, you will have difficult customers, okay? You will. Now, do you know how to manage that? Do you just get all hot-headed and say, oh, well, that's it, I'm not working for you anymore, and then you go reinvent the whole sales cycle to go find new customers and new walkthroughs and new processes and everything to get a new customer, when trying to work something out with an existing customer would be far easier, far less expensive, and would probably have a lot more longevity to it, right? If you're bouncing from customer to customer to customer to customer, it's probably not the customer's fault. Oh, did I just say that? I think I did. I think I just said that it might be your fault, right? So are you a house cleaner, and are you willing to look at all the different avenues of your business? Because what that means is you have to learn accounting. Oh no, did I say you had to learn accounting? I did. And you have to learn employee management skills. You have to learn all about how to communicate. This is not just, I'm going to always text my customer, but eventually you will have to get on the phone and you'll have to have a real live conversation with the voice. I know, it's super scary, but you're going to have to learn all these different things. You're going to have to learn to interview other people if you're going to grow and scale your business. If you're going to be the only person that runs your business, you have to figure out solutions for what happens when you go on vacation, or if you get sick, or if you have a family emergency, because you have customers that are not going to wait for you. If cleaning their house is something that they need and you are not available, they're going to go find someone else, right? So can anyone clean? Yeah, anyone can clean. But there are 9 out of 10 cleaning owners that I know right now that won't be here in a year from now because they don't have what it takes and they're not willing to learn. There are people that are in my private Facebook group. Not a lot, but there are about 350 people out of 13,000 business owners that don't play by the rules, and they're mean to other people, and the rules don't apply to them, and they've been banned and blocked from our group forever. So where there are really helpful free resources to help them grow their business, they've blocked that off, going, I'm better than all of that, and I can be mean to people because the rules don't apply to me. So, well, the rules may not apply to you, but neither does our group. So, see ya, sorry, right? So we don't want to block and remove people, but there are people that don't belong. There are people that don't belong in our ecosystem as far as cleaning goes. And so what I have to say is, can anyone clean? Anyone can. Not everyone should, and not everyone is cut out for it, and not everyone has what it takes. Can you clean? That's the real question. Can you clean, and are you right for the cleaning business? All right, I want to hear your comments in the links below. Let's start a conversation. Give me your best. Give me your questions. I'm here to answer your questions. We're here 5 days a week. If you like what you heard, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. And until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.